Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Hello everyone, this is Master Steve 89 from Ape Supremacy Entertainment with episode 2 called You're Pretty Good from Snake Eater and the Metal Gear Solid Saga. So now that we've discussed a bit about the story and the main protagonist, I guess, now let's talk about the game itself. Because this was kind of a big departure for the series, because up until this point it was always like close quarters and indoors. And now here Metal Gear Solid 3, and that is why it's so goddamn cool as a game actually. You're in the jungle, and it is heavily influenced, as Hideo Kojima stated when he was talking about the game previous to its release, that he was heavily influenced by Rambo 1, First Blood. Because in that movie, Rambo is like this traumatized Vietnam veteran, and he actually doesn't just blow shit up in that movie. He is like using camouflage to defeat his enemies. And he hides in the woods. He becomes one with the forest. And that is why he is stronger than, and why he can defeat the opposition. Not because he has unlimited ammo and shit, but because he is smarter in like guerrilla warfare than the others, because he has witnessed it. And in this game, it's pretty much the same. In order to get through this game without being seen, you have to become one with nature and become pretty much invisible, like a ghost of the forest, like a spirit of the forest that just strikes out of nowhere, and the enemy soldiers don't even know what hit them. That is what this game is about. And they also added a couple of other features like the camouflage, where you have to change your outfit in order to blend in with the surroundings better. I don't know how else they could have done this. It's a bit annoying in this game that you have to change constantly, but still the feature is really cool. You can also like set traps for enemies, like we are going to see in this area later. And there's also stamina. You have stamina in this game, so it's really like Snake is in there, in the wood. And if he is there for days and hours without eating anything, without nurturing himself, he is gonna fade. And when his stamina goes down to about half, his stomach is gonna start to growl. That is for the player to know, okay, I need to eat something. And here's the trap, see? This little hornet's nest, a beehive or whatever. And the bees are attacking the guy, and now he runs across the bridge. I always thought that was very funny, and it's a really cool feature that you can actually use the wood to, you know, make the enemies run. That is very cool. So as I was saying, when your stamina is depleted up to like half or something, Snake, his stomach will start to growl, and he will also not be able to hold his weapon steady. He's gonna shake like crazy because he's just so drained from energy that he can't fight properly anymore. I think he also takes more damage, and he's also bound to get knocked unconscious much quicker. I think when you get hit, it can happen that he just falls down and he's on the ground and he can't move anymore. for a time. And then you need to like struggle with the control stick and everything to get him up to back to his feet again. So that is a very interesting feature. But overall, the controls and everything, that is pretty much the same as with Metal Gear Solid 2, which I think was pretty much perfect for the time. Although the control scheme is kind of thickly from today's standards. So I think the control scheme from Phantom Pain especially, it feels just so much more natural for today's players. Because it is what we're used to. It is third person and it is this over the shoulder view, and yeah, well, it's just what we're used to now. Oh, and they return. Now this is very stealthy, isn't it? And just shooting at them. And just shooting them down. But alas, I'm not killing them.
What's wrong?
I love this. What's wrong? I think no, I don't kill them. I get them down, all of them. Also, what I think in this game, what's really amazing is the music. This little theme, this caution theme, I'm gonna call it, with heavy basses and drums and everything, that just screams spy stuff for me. I don't know how about what you think about it, but to me it just screams this is spy stuff. And a bit of jungle. Just awesome. Also, I think,
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
okay, so here is a little bit of a personal note. This scene here, right? This here, where you have to infiltrate this like little facility, is where I first played Metal Gear Solid 3. Because that was when the games convention, I think it was called, the big convention about games that is being held now in Cologne most of the time, but back then it was held at Leipzig. And I went there with my dad. I was like 14 or 15 years old, and for some reason on this day I got this like little ribbon that you put around your arm to show how old you are, and I got the 16 ribbon. And this game is obviously I don't know how the rating system is in the United States, but here in Germany it is like 6, 12, 16 and 18, and this game is for people over the age of 16. And I went to the games convention not knowing what to expect, and then there was this like, I don't even know how to say it, it's like this little bunker in the middle of this convention part, and there were like, everywhere there were leaves, and there was this like military net spanned over it, and everything looked like forest and military, and I thought, what the hell is this? I went in there, and I looked at the screen. There was this guy playing the game, not enjoying it for whatever reason. And I saw, oh my god, fuck, that is Snake Eater. I can play Snake Eater here. And then I just started playing the game. and it was this part, and it was so super difficult for me to get anywhere with this game, because it was so fucking different from Metal Gear Solid 2. You know, there is no radar. And the earlier Metal Gear games, you always play with the radar, and you don't even look at what you're doing. You just look at the radar and look at the like little side thingy that is on the radar with the enemies, in which you see where they are looking at. And this is completely different. There is nothing like that. You actually have to look around to see where the enemies are. And that is especially tricky in this part, I think, because there are like, I don't know, 4 or 5 sentries posted, and you can't see them. And you also don't have proper camouflage for this like area in the facility itself. You're fine as long as you're outside, but here, see, 55%. That's all I get. And with 55%, they don't see you if you don't move too much. They're not going to see you very well, but if you move, they see you instantly. Not enough maybe to cause the alert phase, but enough to make them suspicious, and you have to use the gun. And I failed so often at the games convention in this part, but eventually I got through by really just knocking all of them out, which is basically what I'm gonna do here. I'm very cautious here and not moving a lot, because I know there is a guy that is walking up and down to my left. And I don't want him to see me because I have bad camouflage here. So I'm not trying to do like perfect stealth in this playthrough. This is just a playthrough to show you the game. And I don't play the game constantly, so I don't even think I can do a perfect stealth approach. But I try to be as stealthy as possible, at least not go into alert phases that much, which is why some scenes are gonna take a bit longer. But I think this is the way to play the games. I mean, in Metal Gear Solid 3 you can fight them off, but you don't want to do that, because in the end it is a stealth game. And a darn good one at that. See, there's another guard in there, because I can hear his footsteps on the wooden floor that's in there. And I try to pinpoint his location, because I know he walks there to this little gap where I want to enter, but I don't know which way he's looking. So that is the biggest departure from Metal Gear Solid 2. Because there you could always depend on the radar and knowing in which direction your enemies are looking. But here you have to just see it. If you don't see them, well, you're gonna run into them eventually. This is what makes the stealth aspect of this game so good and so much better than it was in Metal Gear Solid 2. Also, what I think, they struck a pretty good balance in Metal Gear Solid 3 between the cutscenes and the codec talks and all that stuff with gameplay. So, like for example, Metal Gear Solid 4, as much as I love the game, or Metal Gear Solid 2 as well, as much as I love these two games, there is just so much talking and so little gameplay sometimes. And that can get kind of annoying if you want to just replay the games. You don't want to skip the scenes because they are important and they are utterly awesome. But at the same time, when you sit 20 minutes in front of the television and there's only cutscene, it can get on your nerves. And with this game, even though at the start, because they are setting up the world and everything, there are a lot of cutscenes. Later in the game, they do a much better job of like balancing it in the way that there is like cool cutscenes, story explanation, character explanation and everything, but also you get to play the fucking game. Not like in Metal Gear Solid 4, the third act especially. The third act is just cutscene after cutscene, and there is this one cutscene on the riverbed which just goes on forever. It's like 40 minutes or something, and that is just too much. At the same time, what a lot of people are complaining about with Metal Gear Solid 5, for example, is that it doesn't have story and it doesn't have cutscenes. Man, it's so different from everything else. There are no like codec conversations, and there is not like these long explanations about why Liquid's arm can suddenly take over Ocelot and everything. And they are annoyed by that. I like this, but I get why it annoys people because the cutscenes are so goddamn good. But I think here in Metal Gear Solid 3, that is, from that perspective, this is the best game of the series, the balancing aspect. Now here is really cool cutscenes. Let's just watch.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America's truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
No one spotted me.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Freeze!
So this is the legendary boss. Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot Unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
GRU operatives?
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa! You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so that was Ocelot. And we're also at the end of this episode of Metal Gear Solid 3. I tagged the line "you're pretty good" for the title because it's a rather well-known phrase from the series. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you again with episode 3 of Snake Eater. So see you soon. Bye bye.